Two very longish matches. Similar players. Andujar, a Spanish guy who plays on the baseline. He won in straight sets, but that was 2 hours and 21 minutes. So that really means it translates into lengthy rallies. And then, of course, Londero is a bit more offensive than Andujar. That 5 sets and
Stefanos
4 hours,
Tsitsipas
20 minutes. He
ready?
might be, have a few bruises coming into this match.
Either of those guys have the power of Tsitsipas, who starts on serve.
Allow 15.
Tsitsipas has already won 5 ATP titles, including the 2019 Nitto ATP Finals, which backed up winning the next gen finals in 2018. What a double for Tsitsipas.
Love 30.
A shaky start for the Greek #1.
Well, again, these two have had to make adjustments. They've probably felt like you and I did. We would be on a whole lot earlier for this match.
Thought
we're
we'd be
only
home by now.
commentating. And in one sense, Russ, you could say the longer that it took for this match to get on, that helps Coric, Borna Coric, recovery.
Ah,
Even though it's a few hours, but nonetheless, Tsitsipas, would have to find a rhythm. We've seen him sitting around the site today.
But yo,
the unique circumstances actually lend themselves for players to be able to find many different ways to occupy themselves in a long break.
Yeah.
They have the whole grounds. And Tsitsipas, as one of the seeds, actually has his own luxury suite that he could spend time in. They're going to come back next year, and it's back to normal. They're going to feel like they're slumming it. They don't have a suite. They have to stay in the players only. There are going to be all these fans around taking up the spaces that they're used to. You can get kind of comfortable here if you're a player.
Well, if they put an advance down payment for one of those suites,
Oh.
they might retain it next year.
game Coric.
And a break to open the match.
First game.
Well, yeah, so the double fault at 30 all, providing the break opportunity for Borna, who I'm sure is happy to pick up that break. But again, I would think that this is a match that we might see a few service breaks between these two. Wouldn't be overly alarming for Stefanos right now.
Borna Coric now with an opportunity to take an early lead in this match, consolidate the break.
Love 15.
Obviously, success at the junior level doesn't necessarily translate to the pro level. Coric has had good success. He's been ranked as high as 12 in the world, and 32 in the world right now is nothing to sneeze at. But what does he need to do with his game to break to the next level where he's competing for titles week in and week out? Beautiful from Tsitsipas.
Well, as that
Love 30.
rally of waiting to see it unfold, I think that highlights there. This is something that Borna should try to take a leaf out of Stefanos Tsitsipas's book. I think this is the reason why Stefanos is, for me, one of the next generation that, I mean, look, he could end up with a title here. There's the variation, the ability to adapt and be flexible. And that's not just with his tactics, but with his technique coming over the top of the backhand, coming underneath it, flattening it out, the variation on the forehand. So I think Borna sometimes arrives in some of these matches against the marquee names and plays the same way. It repeats over and over.
15-14.
I don't want to say that that's a bad thing, because it's helped him become one of the elite tennis players in the world. But will he ever have that opportunity to hold a Grand Slam trophy? That's entirely up to him.
Great chances now for Tsitsipas. Break serve right back at you for 1-all.
1 game.
George, he has picked up some major scalps during his time. Beat Roger Federer on grass to win Halle in 2018. He's got 2 wins over Nadal, 2 wins over Federer, and 2 wins over Murray.
Not shabby.
No, there are not a lot of players out there that can count that. Did mention how much effort he had to put into his first 2 rounds here. There's a big difference between winning 5 matches best of 3 and winning 7 matches best of 5. And I would imagine a lot of that has to do with the way George plays, and you kind of alluded to that before.
Yeah, and even the last 2 points, the contrast. He just hit a nice forehand approach. He was calm into the open court.
Oh, that's magnificent.
It is. That is magnificent. So just superb. And again, I think it goes to what we're talking about, Russ. The previous point when he hit a forehand winning approach, it's not often that you hit a winner approach without having to hit a volley. And yet when he lost his serve the previous game, Coric tried to come to net and had to play a volley, and he's not really secure when he's up there. For me, when Tsitsipas, there is intent when he comes to net. There is confidence when he transitions from baseline to the net. Not so much with Coric, and I think that's, for me, a bit of the difference why he hasn't yet reached the latter stages of the second week in the Slam.
Stefanos' best showing in a Slam was in 2019 in Australia. Reached the semifinals.
Game, Tsitsipas.
Beat Federer in the 4th round.
Tsitsipas leads 2 games to
Nadal.
First set.
Here he is He's in the third round of the U.S. Open for the first time, and he leads 2-1. Stefanos Tsitsipas out to an early lead on serve. A couple of breaks to start this match. Maybe a little bit of a warming up period for both of these players who really came in cold. They sat around for a long time today.
It might have ignited Tsitsipas's game, losing that service break early.
It's like his shot of espresso. He needed a wake-up call.
I like that. Lose your serve is a shot of espresso. No, Russ, we're just watching
30 low.
Coric as he's ready to serve there, and his kit, his attire, you know, not an ounce of sweat for the moment. He's probably happy that he's playing in the evening here instead of the day, because he sweats profusely. I've seen him go through so many changes of attire.
Then I'm sure he'll eventually work up a good lather out there.
Well, and I think sometimes that works against him, because his physically it catches up with you in a 2-week tournament if you're losing that much sweat.
40 low.
So the other day with Sasha Zverev had to change his shoes because he was sweating through the shoes on the court.
That's something that this guy does as well.
Remember, on Louis Armstrong and on Ash, there are line judges, and the challenge system is in play, unlike the outer courts, where it's all Hawkeye Live, automated line calling. That was a convincing hold.
Game
Yeah, very, very solid, and again, he is moving forward there. I still am an advocate for him to try and transition more than what he has in the past. So try and surprise Tsitsipas, because if Stefanos is just so aware of how he plays, then I think it might not be a win for Coric tonight.
Don't forget to download the U.S. Open app to cheer on your favorite players. Scores and great features. I've been using it every day at the event to keep track of everything that's going on. You can also get that same information on usopen.org.
Well, this is a nice change-up, because that serve was sent down at a healthy pace, power, and then to quickly change up into a field touch shot finesse. Pretty decent. Tsitsipas.
30.
Tsitsipas has had good success early goings here, bringing Coric forward.
Yeah. Well, there's Team Tsitsipas.
Tortoglu Academy shirts are hard to miss. There's Patrick right above him. Stefanos took part of that ultimate tennis showdown put on by Patrick at his academy in France. What did you think of all the different kinds of tennis formats we saw during the tour's hiatus?
Sorry, before answering, that's Martin Stepanek. He is the coach of Borna Coric. Used to work with Ivan Dodig, Thomas Burdick.
Again, Tsitsipas.
Tsitsipas holds for 3-2.
Tsitsipas leads 3 games to 2.
Early stages, first set here on Louis Armstrong Stadium. Stefanos Tsitsipas and Borna Coric have settled in to a little bit of a rhythm. The last few service games have been routine for the most part on both ends. I still feel like this match hasn't opened up yet.
It's moved along at a good pace. 5 games.
5 games quickly.
15
Not
left.
a ton of extended rallies, which I'm sure George is happy for. Already 7 unforced errors off the Tsitsipas racket.
Left.
Last year, Coric's serving stats here at the US Open were supreme. He's winning 93% of first serves
Left for service.
through the 2 matches that he played, which was the highest of anyone in the field through 2 rounds. And his second serve wasn't poorly placed either. In fact, he was leading in that category with percentages 1 behind the second serve.
Love.
Wonderful recognition. The backhand, well, you know, it's like he could hit that with his eyes closed. It just repeats wonderfully. And the forehand, it can be vulnerable, but the ball is up the center third of the court. You've got to take care of those shots. Coric does it nicely.
Again, Coric.
George is firing himself up early goings here.
3 games on. First set.
Starting to sweat now.
Those fist pumps after winning that game. To love. Back-to-back games for Coric in that manner.
Left.
Lovely ball toss.
13 love.
Plus, that for me is something that I'll pay attention to through this match, is just to see if the ball toss. There are times with Tsitsipas that he has to travel and chase it.
Out.
For someone who is so successful on serve, it's interesting that his toss can be an issue, because you would think the better servers are usually the more consistent tossers.
Right. Generally, the second is where it can chases it. It just doesn't synchronize.
Again, Tsitsipas.
Tsitsipas says, "I see your
New
hold
balls
at love.
leads.
I raise you a hold at love."
Tsitsipas leads 4 games to 3.
Oh, that my ball toss is really synchronized right now.
Winning most all of their first serve points, both of them. Tsitsipas has had trouble on return. He's missed a whole lot of returns to serve that he had his racket on, like that one there.
Yeah, I've seen that in couple of matches that I've covered through the tournament thus far. Players on the return of serve, their stats.
Oh, it's a big forehand.
Himself plenty of time and space. This is the forehand that he has a crack at up the line.
That time it was Coric controlling the point with the forehand. But Tsitsipas made him pay when he moved forward.
15-13.
Yeah. Here's another forehand that's just neutral down the middle of the court. There's not a whole lot of angle. Coric plays with a plenty of height, but it lands right in the wheelhouse. Not a cleanly struck backhand by Tsitsipas.
Gets himself out of trouble with a big first serve down the tee. Coric is just 3 for 8 on forays forward so far in this match. His first serve, though, has been
14.
Brilliant so far.
And that's what he will be relying upon in this match. To get those cheap points against the higher ranked opponent.
Coric fights through. That was the most difficult service game he's had since he got broken in the second game of the match. But George is right there.
Well, we'll see Martin Stepanek there is just nodding at his player. Happy that he fought through that very testing game. I'm just wondering whether Tsitsipas, in some of the rallies that have gone on, he's directed a bit of play down to the Coric backhand, and that's his stronger shot. Very sweet backhand. It's the forehand side that can start to fall apart. He can make errors. He starts to de-accelerate through the ball, and I'm just wondering, now we're getting closer to the end of the first set, where we might see the redirection by Tsitsipas.
What'd you think of that move? A little sneak forward.
I like it. He has to adopt it. He's just got to be more secure with that shot there, the volley. And the only way that you're going to improve it is by putting reps in it, and in instances like this. And you've got to be able to accept that you're not going to win every point that you go to the net.
Without any fans, only the teams really in the stands, and maybe some workers looking on. You have to generate your own energy. It's a night match at the US Open, but it probably doesn't feel very much like that.
You mentioned the exhibitions that they played in the south of France.
Yeah.
And they didn't have any crowds, but it probably felt a bit more like a tennis match because they filtered in crowd noise.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of that here. It's almost intermittent that they throw it in. You just heard some applause. We haven't seem to get the rhythm of it down yet, though. That event in the south of France was more like a TV show almost. It looked like a soundstage, and the point system and the cards you can pull to get 3 points. It was
like a nightclub.
Yeah, a nightclub and a game show and a sporting event all wrapped into one.
Yep, and loud.
Well, here's our first real big point, I'd say, of the first set. 4-all, 30-all. It's the backhand, as you said, that opens up the court down the line. And Borna Coric with a break chance for an opportunity to serve for the first set.
It took a lot of courage. Not an easy volley. That drive volley that take around shoulder high.
How about that for a clutch forehand? Down break point at 4-all. Tsitsipas finds the line.
Wow. Well, the opening's there. There was plenty of space. Not sure that he anticipated hitting it on the head of a 25-cent piece of quarter.
Advantage. Tsitsipas.
He follows it up with an ace, and now a point for 5-4. I hear tennis coaches say all the time, aim for big targets. That wasn't a big target.
No. And movement is obviously a weapon that Coric owns. He was swiftly over to that forehand. That was dynamic.
Advantage. Tsitsipas.
He's now shown Coric that he can hit his mark down the tee and also hit it out wide. There's Patrick Martoglu, Stefanos' coach. Up.
Yes.
I certainly feel like the intensity has picked up.
Yeah. It's kind of why I said a few games ago at 3-2, it felt like we were just getting started. Like it took them a little while to get out of first gear, but now it feels like we're in a little bit of a battle.
Time duration, Juan Ignacio Londero. Advantage, Tsitsipas.
I guess the time violation didn't throw him off very much.
No, there was no hiccup, no look up at all. He just continued on with his rhythm. Quickly got up to serve this one though.
Again, Tsitsipas.
Pretty. And Tsitsipas holds
Tsitsipas
for
leads 5-4
in the first.
Coric set a high standard when he stepped up to serve. Some good numbers, good power behind the delivery.
Love 15. Pignon.
Deep into the first set, Borna Coric and Stefanos Tsitsipas traded breaks in the first 2 games, and since then, no breaks have served. Borna Coric serving to stay in the first set. 4-5, 15 all.
There's that forehand, Ross, that we were discussing a few games ago that can be the vulnerable side for Borna Coric. Maybe something that Coach Stepanek might be paying attention to in their relatively new association. Miss by Tsitsipas. We've seen him hit some classical backhands up the line, but notice the direction once again, going up to Coric's forehand. He made a mistake on the previous point, so let's go there again and see if he makes a mistake. Fortunately, it was Tsitsipas who made the
14.
As he has throughout this first set, Borna Coric has really relied on that first serve, and it's done damage. Tsitsipas has had some issues returning it. Black and pink shirt that we just zoomed away from, that's Apostolos Tsitsipas. Stefanos' dad and coach.
Yes.
Just as Stefanos had a battle through his last service game, Coric finds himself at 4-5 deuce.
Advantage Coric.
only missing by a fraction. But something tells me that if Stefanos had any doubt, a quick look at it up to Dad, and he would have given him challenge or not challenge. Very hard against his father.
Well, and his father is right there on that baseline. You can kind of see him when they take the wide shot of Coric serving. Apostolos is directly above Borna. That's been one of the stories of this first set, I do believe, is Tsitsipas' inability to put a ton of return of serves in play.
Yeah, I still think players are generally finding their way back into those moments. The return of serve. Aliassime the other day in his second round match really didn't put a lot of returns into play against a server who is not renowned for a big serve. The same with Shapovalov the other night.
Felix Auger-Aliassime fixed that a little bit, running through Andy Murray.
Yes.
Shapovalov came through in 5 sets against American Taylor Fritz earlier today. Fritz served for the match in the 4th set.
13 club.
What an opportunity for all of these players without Roger and Rafa in the draw. Of course, Novak is still around. But those three
Tried to play the ball on the left center service line. The ball was called
I think they have to look at it as an opportunity.
Without a doubt. I think we've already seen some
second serve.
unusual results along the way. Combined with some very difficult first round draws.
40 love.
It's not like a David Goffin playing against Riley Opelka in
Yeah.
this round. These courts probably are set up a little quicker this year, and the balls do fly, so that's a difficult matchup for Riley Opelka.
Again, Tsitsipas.
So Tsitsipas holds at love.
Tsitsipas
And one more time, Borna Coric will serve to stay in the first set, looking to force a first set tiebreak.
Just made that one mistake at 15:30. Tsitsipas missing with the backhand up the line.
Oh, that almost curved in.
Tsitsipas is playing the ball on the right.
A lot of misses
far side line.
off of the Tsitsipas backhand in rallies.
The
So
ball
far.
was called out.
Man, that was closer than I even thought it was.
15 love.
Maybe those
Tsitsipas
misses
has
are
2
caused
challenges
also
remaining.
by the lack of spin sometimes on offensive shots by Coric. He flattens the ball out, shoots onto Tsitsipas.
There was a pretty flat backhand that he crushed down the
30
line.
love.
Wonderful rotation. See how high that serve gets up on Tsitsipas. He may have to make a decision of changing where he returns from, his court position, or even coming under the ball.
Mr. Tsitsipas is playing the ball on the left far side line.
This
The
is
ball
going to
was
be an
called
interesting
in.
challenge because that looked in.
That same feeling too.
Yeah, it caught most of the line. I think Stefanos thought it was
40
going
love.
out.
Mr. Tsitsipas has 1 challenge remaining.
He's saying that the mark is, well, the mark he pointed to is like 3 inches wide.
Which was not that much.
That was not the mark.
Game.
Let's get this over with and get a tiebreak type of slap.
6 games
I
all for
made a
set.
mistake, so I'll just give you the game.
Both players receive 1 additional challenge.
This reminds me a little bit of the way Tsitsipas played in his last round. In the first set, a little shaky, and he went to a tiebreak. Much different opponent. But he didn't quite get his bearings until the first set tiebreak, and then he found it.
1-0.
I
Tsitsipas.
didn't get to see much of that match, but I understand the young American continued with those tactics as well.
He did.
So this is a different, even though he might have played against Coric once before, and I would expect that hit together as well. It's a very different rhythm that's happening.
one time they played wasn't much. They played 5 games before Coric had to retire with a neck injury. And I'm interested to see how many returns Tsitsipas gets in play in this tiebreak, because that's been something that Coric has been able to rely on almost as a few free points.
Well, he changed up his return position just there. He went back a little bit to wait for the ball to come off of its trajectory, and it was a much cleaner hit.
That's big for a serve, but a frustrated slam of the ball from Coric.
2-1. Tsitsipas.
You can see those bins there. That's where the players place their towels.
I would think that after all this is done, that's one thing that will stay.
Oh, I hope so, yes.
So they don't have the ball people handling the towels.
Talking about big targets and small targets.
3-1.
That was a small
Tsitsipas.
target that he just hit once again. With precision, Tsitsipas. Yes.
3-2. Tsitsipas.
Wants to challenge it, but I think he knows in his heart of hearts that that stayed in. So Coric gets the mini break back, and here's a slow-mo look for you, and it is pretty.
It's like a hit for the heavens, isn't it? I mean, he's having to hit it with a straight arm.
Was a macho point of tennis.
4-2. Tsitsipas.
And Tsitsipas again getting the return back in play.
And then engaging Coric in a cross-court rally. Forehand to forehand.
Ultimately overpowering Coric. I called it macho because it seemed like there was a little bit of a test of strength going on in that point. And you can see, we'll show it to you again on the changeover. They have these coolers that now have tubes coming out of them that blow cold air. Some players like to put it under their shirt on the changeover to cool themselves down.
It is. It's not a vacuum.
No.
It's not an exhaust.
It's a reverse vacuum. Stefanos appears to be finding his groove a little bit.
5-2. Tsitsipas.
And it's the point construction. He can do this from forehand or on the backhand side, and the backhand offers some variation with not just topspin, but coming underneath the ball at times to hit an approach shot, ready to hit a second volley. I should say first volley.
6-2, Tsitsipas. Game and first set, Tsitsipas. 7 games to 6.
And after a hotly contested first set, Stefanos Tsitsipas steps it up in the tiebreak and takes that first set 7-6 over Borna Coric, who is now talking to himself and not in the friendliest of terms, I'd imagine.
Second set. Coric to serve.
We'll get to see if the work on the trainer has helped Coric, if he can keep that serve amped up. And it looks like that Coric, when he has to hit that second serve, if he can hit that heavy kick to try to get it up high on the Tsitsipas backhand.
Tsitsipas read that drop shot from a mile away. He was running before I think he even hit the strings on Coric's racket.
Yeah. And, well, a little bricky up there, wasn't it, by Borna Coric with the volley.
You're spot on, though. That first serve has kept him in this.
See where Tsitsipas is returning this second serve. Close to the baseline. Trying to get it early.
14-15.
He tried to be aggressive in that point. He looked to be, even from the first ball, he decided, I'm going to force the issue.
Well, the goal, if he's going to come over the top of the backhand with topspin, you want to be able to make contact between chest level to your hips. That's the prime strike zone.
Tsitsipas has been taking a couple steps back and trying to run around the second serve return. George went with the body serve on the second serve, not the kick.
Second set.
And it worked out.
Very accurate with a couple of forehands. Both clipping the baseline.
George opens the second set with a hold. A better start than we saw in the first. Back-to-back breaks of serve to start the first set.
Very different Armstrong Stadium. Banners covering some of their seats in the lower bowl.
A little bit eerie in there.
Coric held his ground. He knew that he was going to be attacked, not just with power, but with an oncoming Tsitsipas to set up the rest of the point.
Again. That time a little bit more of the traditional down the line approach.
I remember the match that really changed the course in a positive direction for Tsitsipas at the Australian Open when he took on Roger Federer, and it was such a pleasure to commentate and see someone aggressively play and aggressive by going forward. It wasn't just with sheer power, but he changed the pace of the shot regularly and really confounded Federer on that night.
14 minutes.
I believe it was John McEnroe who was there commentating for Australian TV and said, almost got down on his knees and said, thank you for bringing not just the serve and volley, but going forward and hitting volleys.
Tsitsipas holds for 1-all, and you can tell Tsitsipas is not only comfortable but confident, ready for a passing shot and ready to volley it, which is different than most guys who are used to coming in off a big forehand and just knocking off a sitter.
Right, and I think you could maybe put Coric in that category, who he's not shy about coming forward, but he's looking for the volley above the net that's around shoulder high. Well, yeah, they are actually easy volleys. I think that what defines a real volley or a true volley is someone that's comfortable playing a shoelace volley or a half volley, which really is Tsitsipas.
That time, Tsitsipas stepped in on the forehand. It's a pretty good change of direction for a big man in that point, even though he lost the pointing. George went behind him, and Tsitsipas was able to stop his momentum and get back.
And lined up for that backhand. That was going to be certainly struck with some venom.
Talk about lining up the backhand to hit with venom.
13-15.
Might not have been the right time to do such a thing.
No, I think he just overcommitted. His court position and the grip and the ball coming in so deep that it was almost too late to either take a step back or change that grip.
We might want to keep an eye on George's first serve percentage right now after that medical timeout. It is way down so far in the second set.
that's a good point, Russ.
31.
Such a strong part of his game in this tournament. Mentioned last year as well. High percentages struck behind the first and second, but right now 33%. That's not going to cut it. He's already having to fight through this game. 30 all. This is a key moment.
Mr. Tsitsipas is playing the ball on the right near sideline. The ball
This
was
is going to be an
14.
interesting challenge because that may or may not have clipped. If it didn't, it gives Stefanos a break chance here. Oh, wait, no, I was wrong when I saw it.
14.
He's out of the camera angle for us.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought maybe it could be more out than in.
Game.
And George holds for 2-1 in the second. Tsitsipas took the first in a tiebreak.
Coric leads 2 games to 1. Second set.
Mark, we were talking about this before this match even started, about how it's just almost strange being at these courts this year at the Open because you're not exactly sure how to conduct yourself. Can you cheer for someone? Can you not cheer?
30 left.
Yes, it is strangely quiet on the, certainly on the outside courts, and even Armstrong Stadium as well. Discussing how we ventured out to watch some matches and
14.
seeing some amazing points being played.
And then nothing. No cheers.
Really, you only hear the player saying yes, and just a minor fist pump, and players having to generate their own environment.
Game.
Well, that happened quickly.
Tsitsipas.
Tsitsipas through it low for 2 all.
2 games on. Second set.
Now, most tennis players, even the pros, have played most matches in their lives in front of nobody, right? You grow up, you're playing, even you're playing on the lower level of the tour, you don't have a whole lot of fans. Is there a little bit of a throwback element to this?
Yeah, I think a number of players are saying it's trying to remember how it was in juniors, and maybe those formulative couple of years in the transition at futures level.
The juniors analogy I kind of like because all of the teams are smaller, the entourages are smaller, and the players are all sequestered in one place, and they're competing against each other in different kinds of games all around the grounds here, whether it's mini golf or soccer, tennis. There's definitely a we're all in this together kind of feel amongst a lot of the players, it seems.
So generally, players are staying at so many different hotels in Manhattan. And so, yes, to be bunched together. It's unique, and they're here together.
30 left.
There's an outdoor viewing area at the player hotel where they actually watch the night matches from the U.S. Open on a big screen together. Socially distanced, of course. And that is strictly enforced. All of this stuff is really strictly enforced.
You're making it sound like it's a movie, like a drive-in. Some beverages and popcorn. Let's go out and watch the tennis tonight.
40 left.
There'll definitely be some popcorn matches coming up because we're getting into the second week and we're starting to see the seeds play each other, like right here. Right along on serve in the second. Wasn't much between them in the first. Tsitsipas took it in a tiebreak. Coric
set,
leads
Tsitsipas.
3-2 on serve, set 2. Glad to have you along with us.
Love 15.
There's Stefanos Tsitsipas. Turning his son on.
He looks a little stressed. It's only 1 point. Your son's lost there.
Now a little
Love
bit more of
13.
a concern at love 30.
Yeah, just didn't move around with enough time. A little cramped with the forehand.
Well, that is gorgeous from Borna Coric.
Love 40.
Stefanos Tsitsipas now facing 3 break points.
A couple of options there probably for Coric. That was a quality return that set the rest of the point up for him.
15, 14.
First break point erased with an ace. Stefanos' 7th of the match. And another big first serve.
13, 14.
Tsitsipas still serving just over 70% for the match on first serve. Had a look at a forehand return on the second serve on break point.
There's that wing. There's maybe a little action on the second serve delivery by Tsitsipas, but also crowding Coric with a body forehand serve.
Let. First service.
Russell, he's 4 consecutive points. Love 40. The demeanor of Stefanos did not really change. You didn't see him droop his head or the shoulders. He didn't mumble to himself. May go against him, but there is a reason why he was able to get back. At least he's still here at Juice. It's just that calmness of belief that he could extract himself out of a difficult situation.
That was going to be trouble if it came over. Tsitsipas was running hard to try to intercept that ball should it come over.
But I think he was heading in that general direction, though, wasn't he? Stefanos, he was tracking it.
Oh, yeah. It was still going to be trouble if it came over the net, because it wasn't going to come very high over the net. pass from Tsitsipas, and that time it was Coric who was able to put the pressure.
Yeah, look, a good move by Borna there. I think Tsitsipas might be just a little disappointed that he raced through that backhand pass. Why not make Coric play? Had enough time.
Advantage Tsitsipas.
It's the Coric camp.
Let. First service.
Should Tsitsipas hold, it would have to feel a little bit like an opportunity lost here from Love 40. And Tsitsipas' ace of the match.
3 against all.
Claims the hold. And it's 3-all in the second set. And crisis averted for the Tsitsipas camp. This game always intrigues me. After a player loses an opportunity, now Coric steps to the line. Does he feel a little bit more pressure?
I would say yes, it's mounting. Given that it's at 3-all, that was a crucial moment. If it was maybe in the first game, second game, well, you know, alrighty, it happens.
I guess the other side of that is, does Stefanos recognize that, okay, I got away with one a little bit?
And certainly now winning that first point is, yes, Tsitsipas maybe apply a bit more pressure. Could it be a move forward to net, or really trying to solely direct it at the Coric forehand here? We'll see.
The best volley of the night so far from Coric.
Very much so.
15-all.
That was like a bullet. Yep. He made sure that his body, the racket on the backhand volley, did not extend too far. Very comfortable. The elbow was in relatively close to his body. A slip there by Stefanos, though.
Big serve +1 from Coric.
You know, Russ, I brought attention to early stages of this set that keep a watch on Coric's first serve. Ever since you've said that, it's like he's heard you.
Right.
Oh, yes. Russ Bayless says it myself. He's now starting to serve really well again.
It's true. I don't think it had anything to do with me. You're right.
Because that came at like a tough juncture. I think it was at 1-all maybe. That he was at 30-all, and
yeah, he was missing a lot of first serves.
Yes, and then he's
cleaned it up. Coric holds, so we stay on serve.
in. I'm enjoying this match. It's being filled with a lot of winners. Stefanos unmoved, though, right now, the coach of Coric. But I think it's been, for me, a high standard. We've seen solid serving. We've seen some incredible winning shots in rally. We've seen both players go to net and some very polished volleying ability.
14-11.
Mistakes, a total of 27. And that's combined 14 for Coric and 13 for Tsitsipas. They've played an hour and a half of tennis, so good quality.
Game Tsitsipas.
I agree wholeheartedly. Good quality, good variety.
Second set.
And played at a good pace. Players aren't, and I know
as we show the clock, it was a 1 minute game.
Tongue in cheek, but they're not wasting time going off to, yes, Tsitsipas has that one-time violation, but that was a very lengthy and exhausting game. But they're guys just keeping good rhythm too.
They're getting on with it.
15 left.
Stefanos is starting to speak to himself now. We've heard George hold the conversation. It might also be because his team is directly behind him.
First ace by Coric. I feel like he's sent some more down than just alone.
A lot of unreturnables.
Whoa! 14.
That's one of those where I don't think the stats tell the story necessarily. Coric holds, and now Stefanos Tsitsipas, after they change ends, will serve to stay in the second set. So far, and a big one at that. First point at 4-5.
Low 15.
Impressive. Still like the way that Tsitsipas up at net. He's still ready. It's balanced. And that is an exceptionally difficult volley that Coric made.
The trouble started when Tsitsipas let that lob, or the short one, drop, and he found himself drifting over into the alley. Follows it up with a nice 1-2 there.
15.
With the lead, as slender as that is, just by one game, but for Coric, this should be a green light. If he can get into some of these rallies and maybe take the initiative. And it's not that he's trying to play reactive tennis, but maybe start to think more proactively. What's he got to lose?
Terrific depth from Coric, pushing Tsitsipas back, and now the opening at 15:30. Still nothing from Martin Stefanos.
I have a feeling he knows this is it here.
Two set points now for Borna Coric. Did a great job to get that stab backhand below the level of the net. Well, he talked about green light. He went green light on the forehand return, just overcooked it just a little bit. Another set point for Coric.
Well, I'm glad that at least he wasn't shy about going for it. Didn't try to just steer it back.
Big first serve to get himself out of trouble. Let's remember, Tsitsipas also held from love 40 down in this set. George will now set point. That one sails long, and Borna Coric takes the second set from Stefanos Tsitsipas. This best-of-5 set match, pending the challenge, although I think that was perfunctory, has become a best-of-3. Here it is. Yeah, that ball clearly long.
Well, as you say, a best-of-3 set match about to start right now.
Allow 15.
Coric was asking if all the balls had gone back to his side of the court because he was serving balls waiting for Stefanos.
That one serve on the outside of the court is what Coric is leaning on. He has to hit a second serve, just hit the heavy kick, get it up high on Tsitsipas. Kiev. Stefanos makes a change where he is standing to return serve on the ad court.
George has done a good job most of this match punishing Stefanos for just chipping that return into the middle of the court.
Yeah, and that's if he does go to the chip, it's got to hit with a bit of something on it. You don't want to let it just float there, because that's what will happen, like it did in that last point.
40-15.
Coric holds to open up set number 3.
First game, third set.
I'll tell you something, Mark. He doesn't have the biggest serve. He only has 1 ace in the entire match. Is he ever effective on serve?
He's crunching it down. Get back to his stats from last year here at the US Open.
Would you say 93%?
93% behind that first serve, the win percentage. But granted, that was over 2 matches, but that was leading in the men's draw. First and second serve. How did he lose in the second round?
Tie breaks.
With my return of serve.
You're not accurate.
Well, that one we can understand.
Yeah.
He's lost a bit of accuracy. It could apply to that first serve, and certainly the backhand.
30-15. Game Tsitsipas. New balls, please. One game on. Third set.
Both players going to the new sticks.
They're following each other's leads. They kind of are. As far as service breaks, they shared service breaks early in the first set.
They've shared sets.
They've shared sets. They went off at the same time to change their attire.
This match has been simpatico.
Playing at a good clip as well. There isn't one holding the other up there. Both happy with the fast pace.
There is an aggressive move forward for Borna Coric.
15 left.
Yeah, he identifies the backhand slice, and certainly when it starts to climb up above the net high, so he really quickens that pace coming in. It's a good technique there on that backhand volley.
By the way, that is pumped-in crowd noise. There are no people in there. I have to admit, it's a little bit awkward to hear that kind of cheering after a missed backhand.
True, yes. Is it the first time that they've thrown that in tonight?
Not the first time,
No.
but it's been sort of interesting.
Okay.
40.
There it is.
You don't know! You don't know!
I don't think Stefanos.
A little aggro, and that is directed at his dad, I think.
Well, that's a heck of an overhead from Borna Coric. And he holds for 2-1 in the third. All tied up in one set apiece.
Third set. One set off.
Apostolos has been banished to the concourse.
Well, we just saw some pictures of him on the phone.
There he is.
And hopefully that's not to any airline. Hopefully it's maybe
40
just to maybe his wife, just to give an update of what's going on. But
you're going to need to talk to him. He doesn't listen to me. Is a very tricky equation to get right.
It is, and you know, he only wants the best for his son, and but it is at times to try and juggle both dad and coach, because I'm sure his dad wants to be known as the coach, and that's what's on our notes as well that are provided for us. It's not Patrick Moratoglu's name on there, it is Apostolos.
I'm sure they also know, they have a good idea when the right time to walk away is too. And maybe Apostolos knew, I should get out of here.
Yeah, and I hope that as what he has been in the early stages.
He's back with a little bit of a wry smile and a shake of the head as he walks down the steps. You know, imagine this isn't their first flare.
No, but for what it's worth, in my opinion, they shouldn't be sitting right there behind the court, in the middle. You know, move to the side. Don't have to be in the lock.
Normally the coaches' boxes are actually in the corner. But this is a much better vantage point, I will say that, for where they are now. These are the expensive seats right behind the baseline.
Still with this wave of solid serving is Coric. Losing 2 points behind that first serve. Set.
Folds at love. Make no mistake. The number 4 seed is getting all he can handle right now. From Borna Coric of Croatia. Stefanos Tsitsipas will serve at 2-3 in the third after they change ends. Fly in. Stefanos Tsitsipas, the number 4 seed, took the first set of tie break. Borna Coric, a late break in the second to even the match at 1 set apiece. And here we are on serve in the third. Russ Thaler and Mark Woodford on the call.
What do you think, Russ? We were talking so highly of the first 2 sets. I think it's maybe just dropped a fraction, but
we've hit a little bit of a lull, but it also was tainted by a little bit of an outburst between Stefanos and his dad, Apostolos Tsitsipas.
It's now turned into a bit of a serving affair, and not a lot of substance with rallies.
I think you're right, and much like how I pointed out the low serving percentage of Coric, and then he picked it up, I hope by you bringing this up, that somehow the level will be raised.
You understand me well.
Yeah, you're doing everything you can.
Wow, there's an exciting pickup.
3 games off. Third set.
There was a time there in the second set where they both started sort of feeling their oats a little bit and really going for it. We haven't seen that kind of intensity since then.
But getting to what now is, really a key game, key part of the set. These next few games, the next 10-15 minutes, so we get us an idea of perhaps the rest of the night, how it will turn out.
Not exactly sure if that's the pattern that Tsitsipas wants to get into, right? Coric loves that.
Coric does, and every ball was the same for him. He was loving the fact that it was the same spin. That's where Stefanos might change it up now and then with pace change. Comes that backhand slice. Get it out of the strike zone of the Coric. Backhand.
13
another
love.
pick away from Borna Coric. Seeded 27th for the tournament. Think back to a couple of days ago, caught in a second round match against Londero from Argentina. 6-3 in the fifth, 4 hours and 20 minutes, and he's played 2 hours, premium level again. I think we can say that he's in pretty good shape.
Tsitsipas tried to change it up, and he had some success in the first set doing that, bringing Coric forward.
Coric in that point, red line, was maxed out on power. He was throwing everything into it, and it never looked like he was going to miss.
Starting to step up his play. Tsitsipas appears to be unraveling a little bit mentally. 1 set all. Tsitsipas serving at 3-4 in the third.
Love 15.
Just wondering if there might be some relief for Stefanos to be up the opposite end from where his dad is sitting. He's facing a formidable opponent tonight who is playing some very good tennis. Solid serving, solid on the ground. He obviously believes that he's got a great chance of winning, and that not to be distracted with
Mr. Coric is playing the ball on the left service line.
Is not correct.
The ball was called in.
That was the one thing that we could understand that Stefanos said to his dad was, "You don't know." Ball caught the line.
30-15.
Ace for Tsitsipas. It's an even dozen.
That's a
14-15.
my coach.
Mr. Coric has two challenges
in
remaining.
the Woodies, that when he would make suggestions to us afterwards, certainly not during the match, but after the match, and you know, we were allowed to, of course, giving him a response back, and he would say, well, you know, I defer to you because you're at ground level. You're the one that's up the opposite end, so I'm only giving you my opinion from what I can see outside the court.
4 games on.
A couple of massive differences there too, because it wasn't during the heat of battle that you were getting that stuff, and it hasn't stopped. He keeps talking to him too.
Yeah, so it is continuous, unfortunately, for Stefanos.
By Coric, and great hustle from Tsitsipas and touch.
Look, this was a gem by Coric. I thought that was actually going to win the point, but somehow Well, I shouldn't say somehow, but the determination of Tsitsipas. Be able to pick it up and put it in a very difficult spot for Coric.
Love 30.
Now an opportunity, an opening for Tsitsipas at love 30 on the Coric serve. He hasn't broken Borna Coric since the second game of the match. That was a rebound break after being broken in the first game. Still only has one break point in the match. That was a difficult overhead from Stefanos Tsitsipas, and it earns him his second break point of the match and as many as 3 should he need them here at 4-all in the third. What a moment to come up with that.
No hesitation. I was wondering to myself, is he going to let this drop and go back and hit an overhead with all his weight going into it?
For Stefanos Tsitsipas, and the number 4 seed will serve for the third set after they change ends.
1 set.
That was akin to a penalty kick taken in soccer, going right down the middle, knowing that Coric had to pick a side.
Yep, the goalie was going to dart to one side or the other.
13.
Although should also have to say another storyline in this set is how many love games. We're going serve for serve, not surrendering too many points at all. And then in that last game, Tsitsipas breaks Coric's serve to love.
Now he stands 2 points away from a 2-sets-to-1 lead. Stefanos Tsitsipas is now 1 point away from another love game. Perhaps the biggest one of the match so far. That would give him the third set.
He has really picked his game up. We were saying in the early stages of this particular set that maybe it was in a lull, dominated by neither server surrendering any points, and I have to say that Tsitsipas has really picked it up a level.
It's not there yet, though. Still another set point coming. Tsitsipas bludgeoning the forehand wing of Coric.
Tsitsipas.
And the number 4 seed has taken the third set and a 2-1 lead on Louis Armstrong Stadium. Change in tactics right off the bat from Tsitsipas. Right, I see you smiling, right? The same thing.
I'm glad that you noticed as well. Yep, that from the chip return and a couple of the slice backhands as well. And that just provides something different coming off the court. Hopefully it gets the ball out of the strike zone for Coric not making an error.
A little bit of the backstory for those who haven't been with us the entire time. In the last set, Tsitsipas at one point decided to go backhand for backhand with Coric and didn't get the best of those confrontations. But this was, okay, I got something else in my bag.
Oh, and he does. That's what the part of the brilliance of Tsitsipas. Strings in his bow.
Got it. I move.
13-15.
You can see Stefanos' dad still talking to him from behind.
It's like a fly, isn't it? That you just try and swat away.
14-15.
Picked up his game a little bit after the big confrontation with his dad, but as you pointed out, it came from the other side of the court. Right now, his dad's in his ear. And I'm wondering if both of them thought they got what they wanted. Stefanos thought he might have shut up his dad, and his dad thought, well, I got him to fire up.
Yeah. It certainly fired up.
Yes, he did. There's definitely a lot more family tension when Stefanos is on this side of the court. Coric backhand just sort of spread.
14, that's it.
The finish on the ball wasn't quite the same. He's had a very much an extended follow through off the two-hander most of the evening.
Serve and volley from the Croatian. And well defended, and then passed from Tsitsipas.
Well, it's a very nice change-up by Coric. Unfortunately, the return was getting low, and you could see the chicken wing, the elbows came swinging up on that low backhand volley of Coric. Basically means you're not going to get a good hit.
Tsitsipas, I think he sensed his blood in the water here. Opening game of the fourth set, and now he has a break chance. There's that break of serve from Stefanos Tsitsipas. to open up the fourth set.
First game, fourth set.
Well, in the end, after getting the return back into play, just a point construction, and Coric was favouring over in the ad court. Tsitsipas was sensing that as well. Just drive the ball down the line, and Coric missing with his forehand.
Go back to the serve volley from Coric. He was at 40-30. He was game point. He hadn't really seen him do that before. I sense a little bit of desperation in that move, that he didn't stick to his game plan. He's been holding serve with relative ease throughout the match. It seemed like he changed it up for the sake of changing it up, hoping to maybe elicit an error as opposed to sticking with what got him there, so to speak.
And if you do serve volley, again, you've got to come in and expect that you are going to get a tough volley. It shouldn't be always, I'm going to get an easy volley. You've got to be prepared to dig out those tough, low volleys. It's just that perhaps the technique as well let him down. I still like the idea of throwing it in. It keeps Tsitsipas honest when returning.
New balls. Closing in on 2 hours and 30 minutes here on Louis Armstrong Stadium. That's a great get by Coric, and it looked like Tsitsipas almost kind of thought the point might have been over there per se. He stood straight up.
Well, and that's a no-no, isn't it? Up at net.
Yeah.
Always be in that athletic pose.
Mr. Coric is getting the ball on the left service line. The ball was called in. Vinolas. Mr. Coric has 2 challenges remaining.
I like the idea by Coric, but there just wasn't enough weight of shot with his forehand down the line. Really brought Tsitsipas back into the point. It's now dropped by just a notch. It's not by much, but it's enough for Tsitsipas to just create this buffer.
Game Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas leads 2 games to love. Fourth set.
We talked, and we've all been talking all tournament, how the players have had to create their own energy without fans in the stands. What do you think of the way that Stefanos has been pumping himself up in these latter stages here?
When he hasn't been overdoing it, it's been really at the appropriate time, and certainly when you've hit some of these winners that he has, and that's the time to try and build that adrenaline. Certainly on a nice momentum. Right now, that's going to be a miss that Coric Why did I try and hit such a small target?
Coric has to turn this around quick, fast, in a hurry, or it's going to end pretty quickly here. This is by far the biggest momentum shift we've seen in this match. Wow, what a get and then pass from Tsitsipas.
Love touching.
Yeah, let's take a look at.
First this.
Just keeps him alive, throws it into the middle of the court, and then it's power times precision.
It's a tough combination to beat.
It certainly is. And that one passing shot there ultimately could provide a second break, an insurance break of serve. Nice response by Coric.
15 touches.
Now we're starting to hear a little more of the verbiage that we heard from Coric early on in this match, bumping himself up. Stefanos is still looking for that serve. Here's the chance for that second break.
What I really liked about the forehand is that he went to it. He didn't wait for the ball to come to him. Just superb footwork. That's what happened on that previous point. He was like looking at the line, waiting for the call, perhaps. That's
the old play the ball, don't let the ball play you. That's what you're referring to, right? Yeah. He went right there.
And it cuts down the reaction time for Coric.
That's not an easy overhead, especially down break point.
Yes. I love it. Both players tonight on some of those overheads that they've been almost pushed to the full length of the court. They've not hesitated at all on those overheads.
Forehand has gone off the rails one or two times.
Advantage.
And Tsitsipas. That was a crucial miss because it gives Tsitsipas another break chance.
Not giving him a whole lot of pace there, Tsitsipas. Break chances for both players tonight.
I want to go back to that, what you just said about why is it that it's harder for Coric to actually do something with the ball without pace? Why is he more comfortable with the ball coming at him with pace? It seems.
Well, I think on the backhand side, if there was no pace or with pace, he handles it. But it's just the forehand side. I think I've seen him numerous times over the years.
That's well done.
Yeah, it's a soft pair of hands. No panic on that one.
Advantage Coric.
Is it because there's more moving parts on the forehand?
Yeah, perhaps so. It's just, prefers, the ball coming into him so that maybe his technique just doesn't break down. Starts to repeat in the strike zone. Without any pace, he has to reach out in front.
Well, that's a big hole for Borna Coric. Saved a couple break points. Stefanos Tsitsipas still up a break in the fourth and 2-1. Stefanos Tsitsipas up a break in the fourth and 2-1, serving at 2-1 to Borna Coric.
15-11. Let. First service.
Lovely play by Coric there, and he really needs to find something. Went on a 5-game losing streak. He needs to try and ignite the game, see if he can go on a bit of a momentum shift, try and get back into this set. The possibility of pushing it to a 5th.
Tsitsipas did let it drop.
14-15.
There we go back to the first point of the game in the second set when he lost his serve. He took the overhead on the bounce, or without letting it bounce, and ended up losing the point.
And it was serving at 4-5 in the second set on that first point.
Game Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas leading 3-1. Fourth set.
Stefanos is really getting more vocal with himself as this match continues, and keeping his energy high, and it's helped him in obvious ways. It's really shown.
Yeah, and the idea to try and pick up a second break of serve is that will almost generally does secure the set, and ultimately it would be the match. Whilst it's just that one service break, this man still will be fighting tooth and nail.
Well, there's the quality from Stefanos Tsitsipas. They covered almost every inch of the court at that point.
Now, didn't we see in the previous game of Coric a forehand that was very similar, coming around the outside of the ball? Again, that combination of power and precision placement by Coric up at net there this time.
That was beautiful stuff. Coric to come forward.
Love 30.
Yeah, and that's what the backhand slice can achieve. It not only stays low, but if you can get it knife it short, really force the opponent to make a quick decision about going backwards to the baseline after they hit it or going forward. Coric chose to go forward, but he was out of position up at net.
Wide, and now 3 more break chances for Stefanos Tsitsipas, and a little bit of a hang in the shoulders from Borna Coric. He's going to need to summon something here to get out of this.
Fought off break points the previous serve. And to do it again here, this time it's 3 in a row.
First double fault of the match for Borna Coric, and it gives Stefanos Tsitsipas the insurance break. He leads 4 games to 1 in the 4th.
Love 15.
A match that has been razor thin on the margins all night long has been busted open here in the 4th set by Stefanos Tsitsipas, who raised the level of his game to open up a 2-break advantage. He has 2 unforced errors in this set.
15 all.
Serving up 4-1 and 2 sets to 1 on Louis Armstrong Stadium. Mark, I know you were impressed with the level of play, the quality he showed in that last return game.
Yeah.
13, 15.
I thought Borna was just really outplayed. Their paths have now separated. They've been going neck and neck for a good part of this match. Mirroring each other, so to speak. Breaks of serve, holding serves to love, and I think midway through that 3rd set, it's Tsitsipas who has just lifted a notch. Unfortunately, Coric wasn't able to stay with him, but now in this 4th set, he's just dropped a level.
For service. That's it.
And that's not mirroring each other. They're at 0.1 in this set.
Again,
Tsitsipas holds for 5-1.
Tsitsipas leads 5.
Now 1 game away
from
from a place in the final 16 at the 2020 US Open.
And really, this is where Coric, from experience as well, that the accumulation of the matches heading into this one start to, can't help but you look at the scoreboard, 5-1 down in the 4th. Coric did play a 4-hour 20-minute match against Londero.
Came back from 2 sets to 1 down. Tsitsipas really started to take control of this match. I think, Mark, you can correct me if I'm wrong, when he started to mix it up a little bit more too. When he stopped trying to go toe-to-toe with Coric. Power to power.
I thought you were going to say that when we commented about it went for a lull and we needed to.
You said that and it did pick up. It did.
Thank you, Russ.
So let me ask you the question: as Tsitsipas is 2 points
Love
away,
30.
what separated him? What did he do to raise to the level of his game, Stefanos? Was it getting in the fight with his dad?
I'm sure his dad might think that you know, was a catalyst, but again, it's the repertoire for me. If I have to say it, the ability to change the pace. We were talking about how many returns he wasn't really connecting with, and you know, the options of changing your return position, or even instead of coming over the top of the ball, come under it and get the ball back in. And I think he did a combination of all of that. There are just options that he went through, and he found the right ingredient.
Mr. Tsitsipas is shooting the ball on the right near sideline. The ball was called in. The service. Mr. Tsitsipas has 2 challenges remaining.
The second in this set, 4 for the match. It's been a strong serving display by Tsitsipas. He's been able to serve his way out of some difficult games.
George does hold, and he'll force Tsitsipas to try to serve for the match.
Tsitsipas
right after they change hands.
4 sets and 2 sets to 1.
Stefanos Tsitsipas up 2 sets to 1, serving for the match against Borna Coric, the number 27 seed from Croatia. Tsitsipas looking for his first trip to the 4th round of the U.S. Open.
15.
Lined up. That was an opportunity for Coric.
15 on.
Not an easy ball for Tsitsipas to actually hit over the low part, oh sorry, the high part of the net. We've already had to take some pace off of it.
Oh, that was an open forehand.
15-13.
With the volley. Coric has actually come to net more times tonight than Tsitsipas. It was the 39th time in this match. Tsitsipas coming to the net on 35 occasions.
better success rate moving forward, but not by a ton. Coric gets one of the breaks back. This one ain't over yet.
Tsitsipas leads 5-3.
That really does highlight how important the insurance break is. Given the quality of returns of Coric, you don't want to just rest your laurels on the one service break, trying to see the set through.
Perhaps playing with a little bit less pressure, maybe. Borna Coric has stepped up his game.
Yeah, which can happen as well. The scoreboard wasn't looking too healthy at all for Coric.
Left. First service.
So, shaking the head, I think clearly Coric thought his forehand was going to be well long. Practically gave up on the point.
Just his second double fault of the match. But it once again puts Tsitsipas 2 points away from victory here. Also winning less than 25% on second serve in this set. Forced error from Tsitsipas sets up match points for the number 4 seed from Greece. One save.
13-14.
Quite yet.
Yes.
kind of would like to see Coric win this game and just push Tsitsipas to see if he can serve it out. Add some spice.
Mr. Coric is challenging the call. Cancel the challenge.
He's saving that challenge from when he really needs it. That is a magnificent forehand that clips the line. Coric has a point to grant the wish of Mark Woodford.
Well, that was a piece of magic. Tsitsipas trying to vary the pace, the spin. Coric up to handling it though.
So Borna Coric holds. Stefanos Tsitsipas serves for the match.
Tsitsipas leads 5 games to 4. 4 sets and 2 sets to.
Second time at it, Stefanos Tsitsipas, an opportunity to serve for the match and a place in the 4th round of the 2020 US Open.
15 left.
Well, first point secured. He needs 3 more quality serves.
You'll notice his dad has left
The building.
Well, he's left the area where the team is. Maybe he's he's setting up the celebration.
2 serves that he's landed, and both have gone to Coric's forehand.
And a third time he goes to the forehand. And he gets the error off that wing as well. And now match points for Stefanos Tsitsipas.
(14-15).
Look at the Tsitsipas box after Montoglu.
And then there were 3.
After Tsitsipas failed to serve out the match in his last service game, he turned to his box and pointed to his head. And he's going to need to keep his head here and hunker down as he's got 1 more match point on his racket.
I have a feeling this serve might go to the forehand. There is Dad. Still watching from above.
You were right about the serve to the forehand, but
it wasn't well directed though, was it?
No. And Dad's coming down closer. Stefanos Tsitsipas has been a man on the move. Chair umpire's not exactly sure what's going on. It's what late night New York's all about.
Advantage Tsitsipas.
Well, there's no doubt just annoyance within himself that he's seen the lead squandered and really pushed to the limit here. Match point number 6.
Yes.
It's just a little extra stress, isn't there? Unneeded. Things were moving along swimmingly at 5-1 in this 4th set.
Chance for Borna Coric to knot this match at 5-all in the 4th. And Borna Coric saves 6 match points. And what began as a spark is now a 5-alarm fire for Stefanos Tsitsipas. It's 5-all.
5 games on, 4th set.
And that is a smile of exasperation from the number 4 seed.
Love 15.
Well, talk about a momentum swing. And back in the favor now of Coric, 27 seed. Just when we were saying how looked like his head had dropped, shoulders became a bit more slouched. He is driving the ball right now. Those shoulders are pinned back. And Russ, it looks like he's got more zing on the ball than Tsitsipas. Every backhand in that last rally coming out the meat of the racket.
There's Coric again, moving forward, knocking off the high forehand volley.
13-15.
Who would have thought we'd be in this position just a few minutes ago? once again, Coric finishing in the forecourt.
Hitting the lead as far as winners. And would have only happened in the last few games. Coric, a couple of game points here. Spare a thought for Tsitsipas. If he does go down 6-5, he changes ends under the spotlight of his father.
Tsitsipas trying to fire himself back up and regain at least some of the momentum that he had.
That was a big 94-mile-per-hour forehand winner. Plenty of speed.
Now it's Coric with the let's goes. Goodness me. Tsitsipas serves to stay in the fourth after they change hands.
Just very quickly. Huh?
Six match points seem like a distant memory now. Stefanos Tsitsipas wasn't able to convert on any of those. Was broken twice when he had a 2-break advantage. Now Borna Coric is 3 points away from forcing a 5th set here on Louis Armstrong Stadium.
Wow, these wheels have certainly fallen off of this wagon.
(15-13).
14th ace of the match for Stefanos Tsitsipas, but he still trails 15-30 here at 5-6 in the fourth.
Come on! Come on!
30 on.
We're getting the come-ons from both sides.
Two big serves. Tsitsipas is fighting for survival.
And again, Coric finds the passing shot. And now it's a set point for the number 27 seed.
It seems like Tsitsipas figuring this would possibly go cross court. He wasn't there.
Right.
Coric has saved 6 match points. That's the first set point. Rebuffs by Tsitsipas.
Very casual way that he finished the point. It was an easy put away, opting not to take it as an overhead.
Advantage Tsitsipas.
A risky second serve, sliding it out wide to Coric. He has been able to hit an array of winners off that wing.
That is a wayward backhand from Tsitsipas.
Yes.
Just toweling himself off. He's been hoping to change those shorts of his, Borna Coric, the last couple of ends. The chair umpire has asked him not to leave the court. Doesn't want to disrupt the time.
Out. Mr. Tsitsipas issuing the call on the right baseline. The ball was called out. Advantage Coric. Mr. Tsitsipas has one challenge remaining.
And Coric, with a massive return winner, has broken for a third straight time and taken the fourth set, saving 6 match points. And we are going the distance late night at the US Open. Russ Thaler and Mark Woodford. Mark, it was only going to end late night for us tonight, and here we are. Let's have some fun with it.
Well, I'm certainly having fun. This has turned into such a mouth-watering matchup between these two. The standard that they had shown us in, well, 3 sets was breathtaking.
13.
I can't help but question the psychological state of Stefanos Tsitsipas of 5-1 in the fourth.
Well, yeah, yes, and that particular game at 5-2, 40 love. He directed 3 serves at the Coric forehand and with success, and then he deviated away, went to the backhand side, wasted a point or two. This one-way traffic is carrying on here. This is
14
straight points. Just rubbing some more salt in the wound that has opened up at the Tsitsipas end of the court.
And George holds and loves. Kind of a flashback to earlier in the match when both players seemed to be holding it love.
Final set.
Opens up the 5th set with a hold. And remember, Borna Coric was down 2-1 in his 2nd round match to Juan Ignacio Londero and came back to win 6-3 in the 5th.
Well, some very different points. I would have expected. Londero is an aggressive baseliner, doesn't really come forward, doesn't have a huge serve. There would have been some extended rallies, no doubt. There have been many games tonight that both players have held serve in quick fashion.
Seems like it's been a while since we were on that track, right?
Since Tsitsipas has been able to hold a fast serve. He needs one here. He's got to draw the line in the sand. He's got to stop the rot.
It's been 3 straight breaks on the Tsitsipas serve.
Mr. Coric is playing the call on the left baseline.
Should be interesting because Coric
The
seemed
ball
sure
was
that ball was
in.
out. Tsitsipas was pumping his fist as if he hit a very well-placed deep backhand. Coric,
Love 15.
good challenge.
No. $30-15.
More exact target there. Serve landing at least halfway up the sideline.
Hey!
14-15. Game Tsitsipas.
So as we start off the fifth set
One
with
game.
back-to-back holds of serve, Mark,
Final
maybe
set.
we should revisit what got these guys to this point. What has Coric done well that he needs to continue to do? And what was Tsitsipas doing well that he needs to get back to doing in order to win this match?
Well, I think the emphasis has been on Tsitsipas. He was the reason why he created the 5-1 lead, and he also took the foot off the accelerator and opened the door for Coric. I seem to remember at 5-1, it was a clean game that Coric held serve.
15.
You actually said at the time, well, you know, maybe he's just now so relaxed, he's out of this match, and you know, he's hitting for the corners, and I think it's exactly, you know, he hit a number of winners, and Tsitsipas tightened up. So for Coric, just continue on in that vein. Both guys now, each time the
15 all.
one vocal, and Coric is in unison there.
Coric is adding a little eye contact.
Yeah,
It's getting a little personal.
lays it down to Tsitsipas.
Could be in
13,
there's a
15.
racket tap at the end of this match. We normally say handshake, but we don't do that right now.
That so-called second wind is still there for Coric. He needs to, the desire would be to extend it as much as possible through this fifth set. Hopefully there's enough in the engine under the hood of Coric.
Coric again holds. on serve in the fifth. Coric leads 2-1. Stefanos Tsitsipas serving at 1-2 in the fifth.
Mr. Tsitsipas is showing the ball on the left baseline. The ball was called in.
This is like deja vu. In the last game, it was a Tsitsipas return. That was, he thought was in. This time it actually is in, and everything is sort of going Coric's way at the moment.
15-all. Mr. Tsitsipas has 2 challenges remaining.
What really is going in Coric's way is experience at 5-set matches. He's played 9 of them in his career. He has a positive winning record,
30-15.
wins, 4 losses. It's Tsitsipas, who's only played 3 5-set matches, winning 1, losing 2.
Coric hasn't shown any sign of fatigue or any left lingering issues from that 5-setter he played in the second round.
The only period of time that I sensed fatigue was as he was starting to fall behind in the 4th set there, and that lasted maybe 4 games.
Game Tsitsipas.
Certainly coming back from 1-5 down and saving 6 match points will give you a little jolt of energy.
Final set.
Stay connected to the U.S. Open on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Join the conversation with the hashtag US Open. Don't forget to visit the tournament's website, usopen.org, for all the latest scores and features, highlights. Witnessing a highlight match of the 2020 U.S. Open. Right now, it might be the signature match of the event.
Could be. Could be. Coric, though, just making a simple error. That was a very neutral forehand. Doesn't want to be coughing up unforced errors like the last.
Love 30.
Well, we saw from that camera angle, which is not this one, but the last point, it seemed that Tsitsipas was giving himself some space, breathing space behind the baseline and just hitting with a higher trajectory. was Coric that made the mistake first. Door slightly ajar here.
15-13.
Let's see, Tsitsipas here to just bend down. Checking out that top of the left foot.
Sneak attack from George, but didn't do enough with the volley. And now,
15-14.
Stefanos Tsitsipas with chances to go up a break in the fifth.
Yeah, he does this very well. The backhand slice is what set the point up. He forces Coric to come up with all the pace. Goes with the drop volley. That's an easy out. Tsitsipas chases it down and hits a winning forehand cross court.
That was beautiful tennis. And Tsitsipas did
13.
everything right except
14.
he blew the bunny right on top of the net.
How that one stayed in. Beautiful angle created by Coric, and Stefanos anticipates the pass. Oh, just frames the volley.
I don't know about you, but I was really enjoying that point. Still break point.
Yes.
The offensive play by Coric. Easy put away, but nothing to do with a fist pump or a shout of come on. Just trying to conserve energy here.
Advantage. Tsitsipas.
I suspect we'll get a shout from Tsitsipas should he pull off the break. This has been the target of some of Stefanos's verbiage, but no shout, just a fist pump and a break of serve for Stefanos Tsitsipas, who takes a 3-2 lead in the fifth.
Fun set.
Stefanos Tsitsipas up a break now, serving at 3-2 in the fifth. Don't need to remind him. Probably shouldn't have to remind you that he was up 2 breaks to serve in the fourth, up 5-1. Had 6 match points. Coric came back to win that set.
Guys still continue to be more muffled. Not much of a response of joy when they're winning a point.
Been a few contentious moments, it feels like, mostly coming from the Coric side, directed toward Tsitsipas. Didn't look like Stefanos got as much on that approach as he wanted to. Almost handcuffed himself.
Yeah, not a good direction either. Didn't put enough duress under Coric, and he did his best there to try and intimidate Coric. Here's his court movement. See, there was just too much time. A few different options available to him.
That's going to be interesting.
Mr. Tsitsipas getting the ball on the left far sideline. The ball is put out.
They did miss. And now, a chance for Coric.
Advantage Coric.
To break right back.
Mr. Tsitsipas has 1 challenge remaining.
There it is.
Again, Coric.
Tsitsipas continues to struggle with prosperity.
Three games all. Final set.
Well, we see Tsitsipas move forward here. Unfortunately, it's a tough low volley. And, doesn't get anything on it at all.
That's a huge forehand return from Tsitsipas, who's had more success on the Coric serve than his own, at least in the last set.
Well, he's going to have to find the key to being a bit more decisive on his service games if he's going to move into the 4th round.
Mr. Tsitsipas is showing the call on the left baseline. The ball was called out.
And already sitting in the 4th round is Australia's Jordan Thompson. And straight sets today over Mikhail Kushkin. That finished hours and hours ago. Turning his back.
14.
That final overhead was struck. Again, we think it's important to refer to Russell is, you know, their 5-set record. Coric played 9 5-set matches in his career. And no doubt a few of them would have been representing Croatia in Davis Cup play, and the atmosphere in those conditions in a 5-set match would certainly be comforting.
Coric is showing the ball on the right near sideline.
They would also add a certain amount of energy, I would imagine. And now this deep into a match, again, these players that caught, they're having to create their own, and that is a game. So Coric breaks back and holds. The pressure shifts back to the Tsitsipas side as he'll serve at 3-4 in the 5th. Four hours in, Stefanos Tsitsipas steps to the line, serving at 3-4 in the 5th to Borna Coric. Match started a little after 8:30 p.m. on Friday night in New York City. It's now 12:34 in the a.m. on Saturday morning.
Coric going for the challenge here. This ball is called good. It's confirmed that it's out, so a second serve. Number 27 seed, showing us that even though he played a 4-hour, 19-minute match in the previous round, match clock is 4 hours old here, that he is still able to chase down like a greyhound some of these balls offered by Tsitsipas.
In all likelihood, he's going to have to go past that 4:19 mark. And a reminder that at the U.S. Open, they play a 7-point tiebreak at 6-all in the 5th.
Very well could be heading there, Russ.
That's well done from Tsitsipas, going behind Coric.
14-15.
And now points for 4-all.
Coric just surrendering too much territory.
14. That's it.
That's the Coric camp looking on. Tsitsipas holds for 4-all. This is already
4-games on.
fourth longest
Final
match in the 2020 U.S. Open. Apostolos Tsitsipas, Stefanos' father, closing quickly on that Coric Londero match, which is right now third. Got a ways to go if they want to catch Martin Fucsovics and Grigor Dimitrov. Fucsovics winning that match in 4 hours and 50 minutes, 5-0. Andy Murray's comeback win over Yoshi Nishioka in the first round from 2 sets down was 4 hours and 39 minutes.
Where is this energy coming from Borna Coric? Don't forget he's having to recover from COVID from earlier in the year. I believe he was one of the players that had tested positive from the Adria Tour.
Quite the reply from Tsitsipas. The level has raised now at 4-all in the fifth.
Well, the finishing line waving in front of these two. The first 2 points, they have lit it up.
Stefanos Tsitsipas continues to put pressure on the Coric serve. It seems like ages ago that Coric was cruising through service games.
Second serve, and a feature has been his ability to kick it up on the Tsitsipas backhand.
And that time, Stefanos Tsitsipas was able to get on top of the second serve, and he has earned 2 more break points.
That forehand. Just sailing long, not a lot of pace. He had to create it all himself, Coric.
Oh, big first serve. Yeah.
13-14.
Right into the left hip of Tsitsipas.
And at 124, making it even more difficult for the number 4 seed.
Still another break chance coming. And again, a big first serve in a key moment for Borna Coric.
was going to be hit into his forehand. All his weight was headed in that direction.
Great hustle from George just to stay in that point, but even better concentration from Tsitsipas to close it out, and he has another opportunity to break for 5-4 in the fifth.
Not easy to hit that backhand from three-quarter court. Has to compact the swing, kept on moving forward, and you can imagine the fatigue in those legs right now for him to elevate up for the overhead. Oh, out of position.
Oh, and still George was forced to make a fairly difficult volley.
Yes.
I'm not sure why he took this on the forehand.
It's almost as if he decided before George even hit the ball, I'm going to hit a forehand. Just couldn't change it up. Either way, back to 4-all deuce.
That is big time hitting.
Advantage,
Borna Coric is getting a waft of victory here. Getting a little closer to the finishing line. Gives himself a game point.
But Tsitsipas has an answer, and back to deuce we go.
Yes.
This game is living up to 4-all in the fifth.
And deuce.
Advantage, Coric.
Once more, a fine first serve. He unleashes on the backhand, and the foot speed quickly recognizes that he's hit a powerful shot. He's going to get a defensive reply from Tsitsipas and steams forward.
.45 a.m. Oh, that's a great lob from George. He holds for 5-4 in the fifth on Louis Armstrong Stadium. Stefanos Tsitsipas twice served for the match in the fourth set. And now the number 4 seed serves to stay in it against Borna Coric.
Let first service.
4-5 in the fifth.
Well, we've seen a few times when Coric is returning on the first court. If he gets pushed out wide, he has crunched some winning returns. First serve was directed into the body.
That just fell long.
15 left.
And Russ, when we were on the commercial, we were able to see that Coric was sitting there and just rubbing his quads, trying to just stay loose, and he had to cover quite a bit of territory there on that first point. There's a bit of a tired response.
Tsitsipas certainly unable to change directions like he has earlier in the match. Shouldn't come as much of a surprise 4 hours and 16 or 17 minutes in.
Mr. Coric is playing the call on the left near sideline. The ball was called in. 30-15. Mr. Coric has 2 challenges remaining.
Oh, getting some height and depth on the approach shot. Just bunting this into the open court. Much a stab volley, but it's good enough to win the point.
Game, Tsitsipas.
So Tsitsipas holds
5 games all.
It's 5-all in the 5th, and that should do it. This match now 4 hours and 17 minutes long, is sure to surpass the 4-hour and 19-minute marathon George played in his second round match. Apostolos Tsitsipas looks on as his son battles deep into the night.
$15 left.
That is some great hustle from Tsitsipas.
Recognize that he was running out of options here, so he just pushes it back in front of Coric, who tries to wait and waited far too long. Russ, for someone who's played 4 hours, almost 20 minutes, that was it in the previous round as well. His serving stats in this 5th set have been super strong. 76% of first serves into play, 71% win rate. But that had nothing to do with that volley. A couple of mistakes in this game by Coric. Tsitsipas to 30 all.
And another unforced error. Tsitsipas is telling himself right now, this is the time. Coric's unforced error is starting to pile up. What will it cost him?
Let first service. Use.
Landing another first serve. He has to be just operating on fumes right now, Borna Coric.
Advantage, Coric.
Body serve. Doing what it was intended, and that's not allowing Tsitsipas to have a swing at the ball. It handcuffs him and draws the error.
Game, Coric.
Coric holds. Tsitsipas serves at 5-6 in the fifth.
Final set.
4 hours and 24 minutes in. Stefanos Tsitsipas to serve at 5-6 in the fifth. To Borna Coric.
Love 15. White please. Correction is good.
Doesn't matter. I understand, but you stop playing as soon as you pull out.
Replay the points. No 15.
Well, fortunately, Tsitsipas has no challenges left, and they have to replay that point, even though he did hit the winning shot.
Love 13.
Inside the court.
Out. Mr. Coric is taking the call on the left. Cancel the challenge, please. 15-30.
Coric has some challenges up his sleeve. Cancels it at the last moment. Once again, Coric showing his retrieving ability and his fitness there. Picked that one up. One more at end range.
14-30.
Well, could you imagine if the crowd were here, the frenzy that they would be in right now?
Game Tsitsipas.
And this match,
6 games all, final set, tiebreak.
quite
Both players
deservedly,
receive one additional
will be
challenge.
decided in a tiebreak. First to 7, win by 2. Winner advances to the 4th round of the 2020 U.S. Open.
Coric.
First set tiebreaker of the evening. Tsitsipas off to an early start. Now the convincing one.
2-0.
This time it's Coric who gets the early mini break for a 2-love lead. Each player gets an extra challenge in the tiebreak. Just 2 double faults in the match for Tsitsipas, but what a big one that was.
2-1. Coric.
Chatter still continuing. One of the more crucial moments. Tsitsipas's father just trying to give his advice to him once again.
Coric.
Tsitsipas gets the mini break back.
Coric.
The Coric backhand error, and it's 2-3 in the 5th set tiebreak. How about that?
Coric.
Second double fault of the tiebreaker for Tsitsipas. Just one in the entire match before this tiebreak, and now 2. In the first 6 points.
Hi.
4-3. Coric. Coric.
Just the ball wrapping around the frame. Barely staying inside the stadium.
Mr. Coric is laying the ball on the right center service line. The ball was called fault. First service.
That is within the margin of error. That is 1 millimeter in.
Let first service. Six, 3. Coric.
In the 4th set, Borna Coric trailed 5 games to 1 and 2 breaks down. He faced 6 match points. Now, the 27th seed from Croatia has match point of his own.
6-4. Coric.
One more big serve for Tsitsipas to try and close the gap.
but he can't do it.
Again, set a match.
And Borna
3 sets to 2.
Coric comes
6-7,
back
6-4,
from 2 sets to 1 down,
7-5,
5-1 in the fourth, facing 6 match points, comes all the way back to take down the number 4 seed, Stefanos Tsitsipas, 7-6 in the fifth. How about that, Mark Woodford?
How about that, indeed? Borna Coric just almost collapsing to his seat, is showing us how resilient he is. And disappointment, no doubt, for Tsitsipas. He squandered a healthy lead. Those wheels fell off, but it was Coric who didn't give up one bit of ground. 6 match points he had to survive, and grinding all the way. A brilliant effort by Borna Coric.